Hey y'all, it's your Missniecytv and I made a review for Sistas Season 9, Episode 9. The episode picks up at Sabrina's and she let Frank stay the night on her couch and now she's trying to kick him out the house. She's on the phone with Maurice trying to figure out ways to get him out the house. Maurice is like, well, you can do cold water, hot grits, a taser, whatever you gotta do. You should never just invite him to your home. Sabrina's like, well, help me out. You're the one that got me into this. Yes and no. He did tell you to have a whole face, but he also told you to never bring a gentleman into your home. And what did you do? You didn't listen and brought him into your home. So now you have to suffer the consequences of your own actions. I don't know why you didn't just go to a hotel or something. After Frank finally wakes up, we see him sitting on the couch eating a bowl of cereal, and Sabrina comes back out of her room and she's basically like, hello. Frank is like, well, I know my soldiers did march last night, but the war's not over, so we can get that started. Sabrina's like, no, we won't. He kicks him out and basically tells him to never. I would say that Sabrina has finally learned a lesson about bringing people to her house, but I know that's a lie. We see Fatima has made breakfast for Zach, and she's all happy singing, and Zach comes downstairs, and he was like, I wonder what all that noise was. Are you having a concert? Fatima's trying to talk to him, and she's like, I know things I heated last night, and Zach is like, yeah, because I didn't consider your feelings about the water birth, but I need to ask you how you feel about forever in the whole Karen situation. Fatima's like, well, I feel a lot of things. Zach is like, but I didn't really ask you how you're doing. He's basically trying to confront her about the conversation that he overheard Fatima having with Danny about Karen and the baby. As Zach is trying to do that, Fatima gets a call from Jazz Duncan and she's like, I gotta take this, it's important. So Zach is like, don't let me hold you up. So Fatima answers the phone and Jazz is like, I see you found shit, you put that shit on. And Zach is like, what? Zach is not feeling it at all, and Jazz is like, I just want to make sure you got the link to my breakfast spot. And Fatima's like, actually, I just had breakfast with my fiance, and she flashes her ring. And Jazz is like, oh, okay, I see you, little diamond. Fatima eventually gets off the call with Jazz, and Zach is not feeling it at all. He's like, who is that, and why is he calling you so early in the morning? And Fatima's like, that was a basketball player I was telling you about. And Zach is like, I don't remember you telling me about any basketball player. Because if I did, I would surely remember you telling me that. She actually did try to tell you, but you weren't listening to a word she was saying because you were so in a funk about going to see Karen. Zach is like, well, I know he's going to be a problem. Fatima's like, well, you don't have to worry about that because I know to set boundaries. Zach is like, I still know he's going to be a problem, though. Zach, you don't like it that Jazz is becoming a problem for you. But Fatima had to deal with Deja. Over at Danny's, we see Tony sprawled out on the couch as Danny's getting ready for work. Tony's complimenting her, telling her that she looks really good today. And Danny's like, well, you've seen this outfit so many times. Tony takes heed to the shot that she was trying to make. And Tony's like, I've been working since I was 14. I never went without a job, and this is my time to just relax. Danny's like, well, I need you to do something productive. Tony's like, well, I just want to chill and I want to experience things. Danny said something so true, and I don't think people are taking this into consideration, that if you stay without a job for so long, you'll get comfortable in it and you don't want to work anymore. Danny, I understand that he needs a mental vacation and he just wants to relax, but if this goes on longer than a month or two, then you need to say something and ask, are you actually looking for a job? Over at the airport, we see Danny's stomach growling at her desk, so she's going to try to eat her lunch, but she realizes that her lunch is not there, so she calls Tony to bring it to her. But Tony's not answering the phone, he's going straight to voicemail. Danny and Leonard have a back and forth a little bit about Tony not answering the phone, and Leonard's like, he's probably out trying to find another woman who won't ruin his career the way that you did. Leonard, she didn't ruin his career. He chose to quit it. Leonard and Danny have another back and forth, but it's funny banter this time because Leonard's eating a hot dog with mayonnaise on it, and of course, Danny makes a lot of sexual innuendos. Danny decides to leave work to go see what Tony's doing and see why he's not answering the phone, and when she gets home, she realizes that he's just on the game and choosing not to answer the phone. And Danny's, of course, like, I've been calling you all day. Tony's like, what's wrong? Danny's like, I've been calling you to bring my lunch. Tony's talking about some of the oxtails, the rice, and the pound cake. Yeah, I ate that. Danny's like, so, you really ate my lunch? Tony's like, I thought you made it for me. Danny's like, you can't be for real. You really thought I got up early and made you lunch when I'm working? Tony's like, my bad, I really thought you made it for me. Danny's like, well, you gotta buy me lunch and buy me dinner. That's when Danny hears a Juliet question. She's like, Tony, I know you don't have some women in my house. Tony's like, it's not what you think, it's not what you think. So Danny goes to grab a knife, right? She grabs a knife, she's like, come on out, come on out. Turns out that Tony has been playing the game where Danny's cousin Rock all day, the cousin that just got out of jail. Over at Karen's, we see Andy over there, and she's talking to Karen about the whole Dr. Cruz case and how Dr. Cruz has had many patients that he's done this to. Then she points out a familiar one, and she's like, Tisha Austin. Karen's like, that's the girl you went to law school with, right? Andy's like, yeah. Andy's like, that's why I'm working so hard to get justice for you. Karen's like, to be honest, that won't even be justice, because the justice that you're trying to get is not going to bring my baby back, and all that's going to do is remind me of the worst day of my life, and I don't want to relive it. Andy's like, okay, but I honestly don't think that Andy's going to give up. She's going to try to fight for justice, and I don't even think it's going to be on Karen's behalf. I think she's going to use this case as a way to get closer to Dr. Vaughn. Karen is right, though. There is no amount of legal justice that could compensate her for the pain that she feels on an everyday basis of losing her. Over at the law firm, we see Andy walking into her office, and she sees this big bouquet of flowers on her desk. And of course she assumes that it's from Dr. Vaughn. He calls Dr. Vaughn to thank him for the flowers, but the flowers aren't from him. He's like, it's not like you don't deserve flowers, I just didn't give them to you. He's like, I will try to help you out on the case though. Andy's like, that's better than any flowers that you can. After Dr. Vaughn gets off the phone with Andy, Karen shows up to her appointment. Dr. Vaughn asks her how she's doing. She's like, I'm alright physically, but mentally I feel numb to everything. Dr. Vaughn tells her that she might have postpartum depression and that she needs to go talk to somebody, and Karen's like, well, I don't want to be put in a padded room or nothing. Karen's like, it just feels like I want to take a walk and don't stop walking. Dr. Vaughn's like, that's fine. No, Dr. Vaughn, if you see her and she's needing mental help, why would you suggest her that she needs to go take a walk? Karen mentions the fact that she didn't go to Faye's first doctor's appointment, and Dr. Vaughn's like, why not? You were supposed to be there to know what's going on with her. Karen's like, I just couldn't do it, but my mom took her. Like, what? You as her mother are supposed to. After Karen has done her appointment with Dr. Vaughn, Karen gets a call from Pam, and Pam is like, wow, you actually answered the phone. How are you doing? How's the baby doing? Karen's like, I'm alright. And Karen also tells Pam that Aaron won't stay at the baby's face. Of course he won't stay at the baby's face. He's the one that's taking care of her, so of course he has to be in her face. Pam is like, you haven't even called me to check on the salon. Do you even not care about that anymore? Pam, she just had a baby. She's going through postpartum. Of course, she doesn't care about me. Back over at the law firm, we see Andy go into Fatima's office, and she's trying to confront her about all these flowers and all these gifts, and she's like, where do you get these from? Fatima's like, well, it's from the basketball players that I'm working with. Andy's like, you know you're not supposed to do that without a law degree, right? Andy's like, you, me, and the law firm could get in a lot of trouble for you practicing law without a degree. Fatima's like, I know, I just like the experience. So. And you should know the same rules applied when she worked on Miss Marie's contract. She worked on those and didn't get in trouble. So why are you threatening her with the possibility of her getting in trouble now? That's when Hayden walks up, and he's like, she doesn't have to worry about it because she's working with me now. Fatima gives Hayden that look like, you can't be serious right now. Why would you even say that right now? And Hayden's like, well, at least Fatima's getting gifts. All that men that you thought you'd be getting gifts too, right, Andy? Andy tells Hayden to go away so she can talk to Fatima, and Andy's like, so I need you to CC me on all these emails. Andy has nerve to say, how does Zach feel about all this? Andy, you really are jealous that Fatima's getting gifts. Fatima's like, Zach doesn't even know about it, but do you want me to CC him on this too? Fatima's like, my bad, that's just the hormones. No, girl, actually tell her what it is. Andy leaves at the office, and Hayden comes back, and he gives Fatima some sound advice. He's like, you know, Andy is jealous of you, and you better watch out because you're disposable. Me and Andy are colleagues, and we're not. So she could get rid of you if she wants to. Fatima's like, me and Andy are cool. She would never be jealous of me. Fatima, you must be Stevie Wonder to the BS, because we could all see that Andy's jealous of you, that you're getting more attention than she is. Hayden's like, I'm going to take this expensive wine as a payment. And Fatima's like, you could take whatever you want. Hayden's like, you must be pregnant or something. Then Fatima gives him the look, and he's like, oh crap, you really are. Back over at the bank, Sabrina and Paige are walking in, and they're having their walk of shame. And Maurice is like, what's going on with y'all? Sabrina tells him about the night that she had with Frank and how he wasn't able to perform. Paige is like, well, I slept with a black man and it was wonderful. Back over in Sabrina's office, Sabrina's still talking to Maurice about the night that she had and how the whole phase isn't for her and she just needs to stick to dating one person. Somehow Andy is brought up, and Maurice shows Sabrina the picture of Andy and Dr. Vaughn together at the bar, and Sabrina's like, why would she lie to me? Sabrina, you're not the only person she lied to. She lied to Karen and Danny too. Maurice talks her into getting on the elite dating website for like prestigious people, and Sabrina's like, okay, I'll give it a try. Maurice and her try to pick out a profile picture, but Sabrina doesn't have any good pictures to Maurice's liking, so they have to do a photo shoot. Over at Zach and Fatima, Zach is sitting there watching Sports Center, and they're talking about Chaz Duncan and the type of person that he is and how to keep the person that you're with close because he might take him from you. And of course that rings bells in Zach's head because he already doesn't like it. That's when Zach gets a ring at the doorbell, and it's this big box at the door, and Zach is like, I didn't order nothing, so he brings a big box in the house. There's a note attached to it. Basically, Chaz is flirting with Fatima. And Zach is like, this is exactly what I'm talking about. So he opens the box and it's this little bag that Fatima's always wanted. And Zach is like, how does Chaz even know where we live to even send bags like this to my house? And how does he know Fatima wants this bag? So Zach calls Fatima and they have a conversation, and Fatima's all happy and chipper because she's like, I have work to do. I'm getting to this bag. Zach is like, of course you are, because he's holding the bag in the hand that Chaz gave Fatima. Fatima's like, Chaz needs real estate and I referred him to you. Zach is like, that's great because I want to meet him anyway because I have some tension to release. And Fatima's going along with it like she's so excited that Chaz and Zach are meeting. Fatima, little do you know, you just set up Chaz for failure because Zach is going to crash out when he sees Chaz. But let me know what you guys think about this episode. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn your bell notifications. Bye!